Why are you here? No, really, why are you here? No offense, but why? When I enrolled at Oregon Tech, I was asked this question more times than I can count by friends, peers, teachers, Nagi. While it may have stung in the moment, they had a point. Why am I here? Not just at this school, but on this stage. I'll give you a hint, it's not because I'm valedictorian. I used to give all sorts of answers when people asked what I was doing here. Mostly, I lied. But today, I'm feeling brave, so I think I'll tell you the truth. The Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Clown College disbanded in 1997. Even if I had been old enough to apply, though, there's no way my parents would have let me go. You see, they care about a little something called accreditation. But I digress. Clown College is the easy truth. The harder one is this. I'm here because I failed. I never wanted to pursue engineering. What I wanted was to perform. Before OIT, I lived in California, Anaheim specifically. I got a job at Disneyland and tried with all my might to get cast as a performer, a dancer, character, anything. But I was too fat, or too inexperienced, or simply not what they were looking for. My parents supported me in trying, but even their patience has its limits. They wanted grown-up stability for me, not childish dreams. I was then faced with a difficult decision: attend college with their support, or continue to chase an impossible dream without it. And so I thought to myself, how can I make this work? There's no one way to be an artist. I'm smart. If I can't be a performer, maybe I can work behind the scenes on special effects or animatronics. Entertainment technology is ever evolving, and who knows, maybe one day I could be a Disney Imagineer, one of the elite few who get to spend their days designing immersive lands, rides, and attractions for millions of people to enjoy. All I had to do was graduate with a mechanical engineering degree, avoid getting sucked into the military-industrial complex, do a little networking, and bippity-boppity-boo, custom hard hat. Should be easy, right? Wrong. This was the hardest thing I had to do in my life. For a long time after I came here, I questioned if I had made the right decision. I asked myself over and over again, what on earth was I doing here? And after a while, I realized I might never know. I'm pretty sure I had an existential crisis, but considering I failed the philosophy of video games, I guess we'll never know. All I know is I've shed a lot of tears on this campus. I've cried in my car, on my twin bed in the dorms, under a barbell in the tech rec. Heck, I even sobbed uncontrollably right there. But college is supposed to be for asking questions, for examining the world as we know it and coming to understand it all a little more intimately. But I seem to be asking all the wrong questions. I was more focused on figuring out the point of it all than I was on learning the right-hand rule. The beginnings of an answer came to me, of all places, from the terror, Terry Torres. On the first day of Statistics 101, she asked us, when analyzing data, do we ignore outliers? Meaning, when we examine a number taken from a random population sample that deviates so far from the mean, the freak accidents, the why are you here's. Do we get rid of it? And to quote Professor Morvek, It depends. Torres continued. Outliers in people are the Einsteins, the Olympic athletes, the rock stars. You pay to see outliers. And I thought to myself, what if I could be an outlier here? What if I could take this situation that was ostensibly thrust upon me and make it my own? What if in a school with no arts programs, I could still find a way to perform? The first time I met Hootie, our mascot, was the day I became him. And he taught me just as much as any professor. Not in an academic sense, mind you, but in a way that will stick with me nonetheless. When I got to flesh out this character and pour some of myself into his persona and mannerisms for our community, I learned that there is more power in being yourself, even behind a mask. When performing as Hootie led me to more opportunities than I ever could have dreamed of back in my Disney days, I learned that there is so much more to performing than just some theme park in Anaheim. My dreams changed, and that's a good thing. Because now, after betting on myself, I get to dream bigger. I get flown out to go perform places. I'm still getting used to that one. I get to practice with dunk teams and meet Muppets and be on TV. I get to jump out of airplanes in costume and calculate the wind resistance on the way down. I get to be an engineer and I get to perform, something that prior to Hootie, I never thought was possible. But it wasn't impossible, just statistically improbable, which I suppose makes me an outlier. And I think that's what I learned from this whole marvelous misadventure. I think that's why I'm here. So I encourage you, all of you, to remember that when things go wrong, when Boeing starts taking out the whistleblowers, allegedly, when Elon Musk takes credit for something that you designed, when ChatGPT tries to replace you, remember that you do not have to take it lying down. You have power. You have agency. You have an education, damn it! Use it to think critically, to bring about good change, to be so exceptional, so out of the ordinary that when the powers that be examine their data set, they have no choice but to look twice at the anomaly that is you and take you into consideration. And do you know what that makes you? Do you know why you're here? I do. You're here to be the outlier. Thank you.